Okay, and now just to wrap up the initial part of this starting Cocos3d series, what we want to do is do our first export from Blender and get it up and running inside in the demo project Frank. So open up Blender and inside that, okay, what we want to do is create something different that will export out to the using the PVR GeoPod. The things that are exported from the Blender file can be seen up in the outliner, and it's basically what's on the screen here. So we have a camera, a cube, and a lamp. Now we know there's inside in the template project there's already a camera, so we're going to delete that by right selecting X, and there's already a lamp, so I'll right select that and X, and I want to change the cube, so we might as well put in the we'll delete the cube and Shift A, and we'll stick in a monkey, and the monkey's moved off, so I'm just going to put it right in the center. That's 0 0 0, and we'll just look at it from the front view, and there's the monkey, and the monkey is called Suzanne, and that's important too. The reason I take out the light and the camera, I'm in the habit of taking them out as soon as I start doing any sort of a scene. I take out the light and the camera and start the scene like that, so that if I know I want them as part of the pod, I'll stick them in purposely, instead of having them left in there and forgetting about them. You bring the pod into Cocos3d, and then you've got some issues because you have an extra lamp that you didn't realize was there, or a camera that you didn't realize was there. So it's probably a good habit to get into, that you just put things in deliberately and start from there. Okay, more of that later. So now all we want to do is export it. So we're going to you don't have to select anything. So actually what I'll do is make let's see now, I'll just make her bigger so you can see her. We'll make it nice and smooth, select smooth, and now we're going to export it. Okay, so we go File, Export, PVR GeoPod. Now I've made, on my desktop, I've made a folder called Models, and I'll select that, and we'll call it Monkey, M-O-N-K-E-Y. We're exporting a live animal. And up here we press Export. Wait a second, and the PVR GeoPod interface loads up. And just for this one, I'll go through. We have geometry selected, export geometry, materials selected, transformations. When it starts, this isn't selected, or sorry, the animations. So I'm going to click the animations now. I know there isn't animations in this one, but later on we'll be using animations, and sometimes you can have forgotten to click that, and you're inside in Cocos3d in your file, and it won't animate for you, and you can't figure out why, but you've never actually exported them in the first place. So it's no harm to have it clicked, even if you don't have animations. It's not going to cost you anything. If they're not there, they're not going to be exported. Okay, and leave that clicked. And then in user options, just to show you this PVR Shaman, I'll click to open that, but you have to give it a path. So that's in my applications, imagination, Power VR, graphics SDK, and it's the Shaman we're looking for, and the GUI, and there it is. So we'll open that. Okay, so now we're ready to export. You hit export, and because we put in that last thing, this Shaman file is open. Our program opens. We'll just close out the screen. And what this is just a tool that allows you to examine your pods, and you can actually do some editing to the materials and stuff afterwards. We'll do more about this later. Just show you that it's there, and you see we got the scene, we got Susan, and that's all we have. Okay, so we close Shaman. And if you hadn't opened Shaman, this screen comes up after your export, and again it gives you some details about what you've exported. The node Susan, mesh 0. So export complete. You can click OK. you can close out of Blender, and if we look in our models file on the desktop, we should have the monkey model, the monkey pod here. Okay, so open up Xcode and get Frank out. Here's Frank, and we go into this frankscene.m page. So this is where the setting up of the scene is done in the template project. And if you go into the up here, you go Frank scene, and initialize scene is the first thing we want to look at. That brings up the method for that. And you can see here, there's the camera that I said we didn't need to import one. So there's a camera there already. There's a lamp there already. But now we want to change the pod that's used in the project. There's the Hello World pod. So if I go to my Finder, Models, Monkey, and you just drag it in to your resources and let it go. And rid of that page there now. Now this comes up. You want to add it to the target, which is Frank. And what I'm in the habit of doing is I click the copy items, and this will actually drag the pod into the project folder. You'll have the backup of having it in the models folder separate from the project, and you'll have it in the project, and I'll show you later why that can be useful. So you press finish, and there we have the monkey pod available to us. So back into frankscene.m, and instead of using the Hello World pod, we're going to use the monkey pod. So monkey, and now I'm going to just run the project. It's building, build succeeded. There's my iPad, and there's the monkey. Okay, and you're saying to me, okay, when it ran with Hello World earlier, it was spinning, but this time it's actually moving towards us. What's after happening there? Well, the monkey actually didn't move. What happened there was the camera moved, and I'll show you why that happened. I'll just quit out of that. If you go into the onOpen method down here, at the end of that, Bill has stuck in this little action that the active camera in the scene will move over 3 seconds to show all of what's in the scene. So it's basically just a framing action that happens as soon as the project opens. And to get the monkey moving, we go back to the initialize project or initialize scene, and down at the end of it there is an action that's run, but it's the hello text node is actually called hello, which is from the Hello World pod, but our one is called Suzanne and E, and we're going to run the action on Suzanne. Okay, so I'll just press Command R, get it running, and there you go. There's the framing happens, and the mesh node is actually being animated to rotate. Okay, so that's the initial part of this series done. You can now import pods into Cocos3d, and the next step will be to start looking at the scene, the programming of the scene, the different parts of it. We'll start off with different things that are affected by using either this resource node, a method of bringing in the pod, or just bringing it in one big lump. Okay, that's it for now. Good luck.